d'amalgame, tout n'est pas noir ou blanc. Pas d'âme, pas d'âme, pas d'âme, madame, y a des gentils chez les méchants. Pas d'âme, pas d'âme.
Adrien Bastard. Adrien Bastard. Qui est ce Adrien Bastard? C'est un organisateur de concours de beauté. Il est délégué au concours Mister France Picardie. Et bien entendu, il a un gros carnet d'adresses auprès du showbiz. Il collectionne aussi tout ce qui est vidéos pédopornographiques. Hein. Il a des milliers et des milliers de vidéos pédopornographiques chez lui, des vidéos qui impliquent des enfants de 5 à 17 ans. Voilà, c'est ce qui a été retrouvé chez lui. Des vidéos, des milliers de vidéos d'enfants de 5 à 17 ans. On imagine les saloperies et les dégueulasseries qu'il y a eu. Et il est accusé d'être dans un vaste réseau pédopornographique, pédocriminel, pardon. Et on l'accuse de traite d'êtres humains, de soupçons de transmission volontaire des VIH, de viol sur mineurs, de faire venir de la traite des blanches venus de 4 coins du monde, dont beaucoup en Afrique. D'ailleurs, il travaille avec un cousin éloigné, mais un cousin quand même de Brigitte Macron. Ce cousin s'appelle Pierre Robert, parce que à ce moment-là, il a été arrêté, mis en prison, en détention provisoire, très exactement. Et là, qu'est-ce qu'on apprend? Eh bien, il est sorti hier. Donc, en France, dans la France de 2025, un type qui est accusé d'être à la tête d'un réseau pédocriminel, d'être dans la traite des blanches, de trafic d'êtres humains, de transmission de VIH, de posséder des milliers de vidéos pédos d'enfants de 5 à 17 ans, eh ben, un type comme ça, alors que les preuves sont là, hein, alors qu'on pourrait le laisser en détention provisoire longtemps, enfin jusqu'à son procès en tout cas, on pourrait le laisser assez longtemps, eh bien, en France de 2025, un type comme ça sort de prison après seulement 6 mois, avril, mai, juin, juillet, août, 5 mois, 5 mois. Voilà, de détention. C'est magnifique.
Back in Washington, D.C., and like I said, everybody is thinking the same thing. Everybody wants to ask the question. You can see it on their faces. Does she stand when she pees? So we know, does she stand when she pees? But no one has the courage to ask because I'm not there. One thing is definitely for certain. It looks like he is tired. We've definitely aged Emmanuel Macron. Look at these photos of him. He is going white. He's under a lot of pressure, likely from underneath his wife's extremely large hands. Bouf, bouf, Emmanuel. Zut alors. But he also might be stressed. I got to tell you guys this because, of course, it's probably not going to make its way into Western media, but he's not having a very great press cycle. The couple is just not, they're in a bit of a press rut, you could say. I feel like the worst thing that could possibly happen after you gloriously drop a 200-page lawsuit to try to convince the world that you guys really are not perverts is for your wife's wife, to then get arrested and swept up in news, named as the suspect of having organized a pedophile ring in Africa. I kid you not. I kid you not. That is what is happening right now. Brigitte's cousin, a man named Pierre Roberts. I told you guys about him, I think, many moons ago. He was the nephew of the man who ran the Rotary Club with Brigitte's dad in Amiens. You know, Amiens' a weird place. It's a very special place, you guys. On the topic of pedophilia, there just seems to be a lot happening in Amiens. Anyways, her cousin Pierre, he's making headlines right now because he is swept up in this child sex trafficking ring that was going on in Africa. a very big ring, by the way, which included people intentionally inoculating victims with HIV. Okay. So a couple days ago, they arrested this 40-year-old. His name is Adrien B. And they're questioning him. They've been working on this for months. And it turns out that Brigitte's cousin Pierre is suspected as the instigator of the entire network. Okay. He's suspected of having organized and ordered the rapes of disadvantaged youth in Senegal and in Morocco. He did this, they are alleging, both for his personal pleasure, but also because he wanted to make videos of the abuse and share it within his pedo-criminal circles. Again, I'm not kidding. This is real. You can look this up in Le Parisien. You can look up Pierre Roberts. The affair has been exploding in France, and the network even includes people that are or were high up in the military. Last month, a former agent of the most confidential military unit in France got swept up in the affair. His name is Claude G. And it was allegedly he used his military contacts to set up the system throughout African countries. Totally normal stuff, right? I mean, does everybody have a cousin? No, not everybody has a cousin, a friend, a business partner, a family member that is constantly involved in pedocriminality. This is why I cannot listen to anyone that is trying to dress up what is happening in France as like, oh, a podcaster, Candace is just attacking Brigitte. Ew, no, get out of my face, okay? We're not letting this go. And maybe there's a scenario we get to ask Brigitte under oath questions about her big cuzzo or whatever. And by the way, now that we're speaking of Algeria and Morocco just keeps coming up all the time. Didn't Jean-Michel Trogneau sort of fall off the planet after he went down to Algeria and had this mysterious military file that they simply will not release to Xavier Poussard, even though they're required to release it? They've like locked down that file. A lot of stuff is starting to add up. Like I said, you always hear Algeria, Morocco, Northern Africa. The point is that Emmanuel Macron is here. He looks stressed. Ostensibly, he's here because the leaders are coming together to find peace, right? Finally, everybody's coming to the table after 3 years of murdering young Ukrainian men. We decided now that it's peace. Peace is our aim. And I hope you guys are now recognizing this as we go through the Epstein files, as we look at everything in the background of these characters, as we talk about that hand of Midas that just pulls up these cast of characters. I hope we can now all agree that this is just theater, okay? This is just what the elites do when their objectives have been reached. And what is their objective in Israel? Ethnic cleansing, right? They've gone mask down on that. What is the objective in Ukraine? That also appears to me to be a very obvious ethnic cleansing. And when they're done, when they're within, sight of their goals, they're like, it's time for peace. And then they applaud and they give somebody an award. Oh, it's the peace award now that we're done with our initiatives. So pay close attention to whoever it is that they move into Ukraine after peace is struck. Gaza, now they've kind of told us, what we're doing there. This has kind of been the exact same script, at least since World War I, likely even before then. And I think we all recognize that the person that has the most power over all of our nations, because we have been somewhat globalized, at this moment is Bibi Netanyahu. Of course, he's the boss. He's the big boss, Bibi. And he's going to decide when and if and exactly at what moment these wars are going to be allowed to end. That's why I don't take any of this seriously. He holds the keys to the blackmail files, so to speak. That's why Israel always comes up in every story that you look at. By the way, like I said, I'm happy that they're at least done with the 2-year period of gaslighting us about Gaza. Like now Netanyahu's like, yeah, we're imperializing. We're going in there. It's always the same method. False flag attack justifies the war, and then there's this broader imperialist effort. And speaking of Boss Bibi, color me not shocked at all. In case you missed this over the weekend, about a week ago, it was reported that the police in Las Vegas put...
Pas d'amalgame, tout n'est pas noir ou blanc. Madame, 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 y a des gentils chez les méchants.